have the chance to become part of something much bigger than yourself.
What do you know about me?
Everything.
X-Men First Class was a movie made for people like me. By people like me, I mean people who aren't afraid to get their geek on, kick back, put their personal problems aside, enjoy the fanboy banner, and watch stuff blow up. First Class follows Eric Leischner, aka Magneto, played by Michael Fassbender, and Charles Xavier's, played by James McAvoy, relationship. Charles and Eric become friends over their ability to harness their mutant powers, and they eventually split over their difference in how to use it. X-Men First Class does an excellent job defining both characters' differences. We can really see the rift open between the two. Charles has had a comfortable lifestyle, growing up in Manchester Mansion in New York. Eric, on the other hand, grew up in Nazi-occupied Poland and was used as a superweapon for the army until he escaped. Although catered to fans of the series, boosting more mutants and a deeper dialogue between Magneto and Xavier, casual movie watchers can enjoy this film due to its high intensity, great acting, and one hilarious cameo. Although in no sense a top contender for this year's award shows, X-Men First Class is a genuinely fun movie that you can get a kick out of that respects its fan base while appealing to the general public. That is why X-Men First Class is worth the price of admission.
So I thought this movie was going to be horrible. I thought it was like, this franchise was so close to being direct to DVD land, like, just because of the last two movies, they were so bad in a terrific way. You know what I mean?
Right.
They practically turned into cartoons. You know what I mean? You got Wolverine literally like rappelling down the chamber of like a nuclear power plant with his claws. I'm like, huh?
It came to the point where it was an action movie to be for the fans, for the sake of the fans, and I mean that's good for the people that watch them, the comic book fans, but you want to appeal to a wider variety.
But see, I feel like the comic book fans were the ones that hated the last two movies the most, because the comic book fans are actually looking for kind of like the drama and the storylines more than the action, and that's why the first two movies were so good, because they weren't action movies. They were movies with action in them, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I'm not saying they're like Oscar-worthy pictures, but they were really kind of like a thinking man superhero movie. And if it wasn't for the 2000 X-Men and then X2, X-Men United a couple of years later, that you wouldn't have like The Dark Knight, you wouldn't have Batman Begins, because those were the first movies to really take the superhero genre in a very serious, dark way. Like even the 2001 Spider-Man, which came out after X-Men, was kind of a cartoon in a sense. It was very light and bouncy and stuff like that.
And even
but like
Maker with the third
oh my
Spider-Man.
God, that was terrible.
Yeah.
So, but here's this one, and the word from day one is this is going to be so crappy that it comes out and it's not shit, and it's like, oh, this is really good. Oh, this is funny. Magneto's a badass.
Right.
Oh my God, that's how Xavier did that. Oh, an in-joke. Oh shit, Wolverine. You know,
Right.
and the coolest part about this movie being good is the fact that it's not good because of geek out moments. Like, it's a movie for geeks, but at the same time you watch it and you're like, oh my God, I can't wait to see Cyclops. Oh man, I can't wait for them to do this. It's, oh, these characters are really cool.
And it appeals to everyone in a sense, because even if you've seen the four movies or not, or if you're just a comic book fan, you can start from the beginning. You learn who these people are from the start. And they introduce a whole new cast of characters that are interesting, fairly well defined, and it's funny, which I wasn't expecting. It brings some of that Iron Man humor to it.
Yeah, here's what I hate though. The one thing I hate about this movie, and it's definitely it can't be the fault of the director, is that they screwed up the continuity really bad, because it was like whoever was producing the movie was like, hey, let's not completely start fresh. Let's try and shoehorn in this prequel. So as a result, every single thing that happens to any of these characters for the next two movies that come out, if they're keeping with this storyline, nothing serious can happen. You know what I mean? Like Xavier can't die, Magneto can't do something ridiculous, because you know what happens later in the storyline because of the three movies that came out beforehand. So I just don't understand why they didn't bother just starting fresh. That's the only qualm I have against the movie.
That's the problem with prequels.
Yes, I hate prequels. Yeah, but seriously, this is totally Obi-Wan and Anakin with James McAvoy and Magneto. George Lucas should take note. If you ever want to remake him, hire the guy who directed the movie.
He should.
For sure.
Hear that, George Lucas, X-Men First Class. Take note. On that note, X-Men First Class. Go and see it, bub.